Harbourside HQ, when it first came to us, it's from a bunch of clients that we've worked with a lot in Hong Kong. So they came to us initially to look at the facade work, and we were very interested to take a holistic look at the building. Great big internal spaces that weren't really previously used to their best effect. So we saw a really great opportunity there. The main thing we've done with the facade really is to concentrate on the lower floor levels. The front facade previously was divided up into, there was some retail and restaurant units that actually had their own facade. And the office facade itself was quite small. It was just a very small central portion. So part of the brief on this was to try and unify the whole thing. So the building had a much stronger office identity. We sort of reclad the whole of that lower part of the building with a much sort of larger kind of presence onto the street. And then the two side elevations, which previously weren't really tied into the whole building, but that's where the bulk of the people come to who arrive at Harbourside HQ. We also refurbished both of those to give it, again, a much stronger sort of cohesive unity all the way around all three facades. It's really interesting because there's a lot of new building work going on in that area, both behind Harbourside HQ, where you've got a load of new HQ office buildings going up, and also in front you've got Kai Tak and that whole area being redeveloped, as well as the new hospital building. Harbourside HQ is going to end up sitting in this very prominent position. It's kind of right on the front of the waterside there, in front of a lot of this new building work. Once you're in the building, the views are absolutely stunning from all levels. So it's really quite unique. It's not a new build, but hopefully with the work we're doing, it's going to have that new build feel once it's finished. And I think it kind of stands out both from the local area, and also it's highly visible from the other side of the harbour. When you're driving along the highway on Hong Kong Island side, then the building, it's always stood out, and I think now it'll stand out a little bit more. We've put in a huge new canopy, so it's a lot more welcoming, a lot more friendly, a lot more environmentally friendly to the people using the building. You don't get wet now when you're standing outside. And it's just got a whole grander kind of feeling, more fitting to a big office headquarter building. It's an interesting project because we have four different clients all working together on it. They had a strong vision for the building, but they let us explore our ideas first, and then they inputted their ideas as we worked forward, as we moved forward. So it very much became a sort of creative process working in tandem with the clients, and I think that shows in the end result, and hopefully it's something the clients are pretty proud of as it's finishing up.
The area is very much an up-and-coming area. There's been a real push to see it develop as a second CBD, and really the change from Okta Tower to Harbourside HQ was about bringing the tower up to that level. One of the big moves on the facade was to try and open up the glass and bring as much light into that ground floor space as possible, because it's got these huge floor-to-ceiling heights which create these fantastic atrium-like spaces, and we wanted to really flood that with light. So part of the interior response was to continue opening that up, and then along with that we also had a balance between locating a sort of premium grade A office, and at the same time the client had been very clear about wanting to integrate a newer style of office, more in line with hospitality, and particularly gave us the reference of some various libraries which have these softer materials, these woods, these warmer hues, and make a much more sort of comfortable environment that people want to spend time in. For the main entrance, we took this as being the core of the experience with the sense of arrival, and then we linked pedestrian flow between the front and back of the tower. And then on the far side, we introduced this very hospitality-like space, which has got a much more human scale element, with comfortable furniture and hot desking, and very much in line with the library feel, with these bookshelves, accessory type elements around. And the idea was to create a sequence of spaces between those people can come down and simply relax and enjoy a cup of good coffee. And then with the cafe in the middle, you're sort of serving to both spaces. So you've got this very laid-back approach and sort of space on one side, and a much more modern working environment on the other.